between two conflicting estimates. Somebody is lying.
Hey, my nieces and nephews, what's good? It's your boy TAPX. My lovers. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I'm gonna say this up front to y'all: is that I have zero love for the mainstream media. I think they're trash. They're not left wing. So anytime you hear people go like MSNBC and the left wing, they're not left wing. They are corporate media. Say it with me, my nieces and nephews. Corporate media, not the same. Why do I say corporate? Because their money is based on corporate ad revenue. That's how they make their money. The more corporate ad revenue they get, the better their companies are doing. So MSNBC, CNN, anytime you turn on any cable news, doesn't matter whether it's Fox News or MSNBC, it's all neoliberal shit. The Fox News is the Republican side of the neoliberalism. The CNN is the MSNBC, whatever, is the Democrat side of neoliberalism. They're both neoliberals. Okay, don't get that twisted. They're both into the market. They both love the police. They both love police state and all of this. They both hate fascists. I mean, my mistake. They both hate socialists. Neoliberal Democrats, they all hate socialism. They would rather tolerate a Trump type person than ever a Bernie Sanders, for the most part. They'll fight, now, I mean, Trump's exposed himself now, but the Trump of 2016, most of the liberals are like, 50-50 on that. I don't know. I don't like socialism. So, the mainstream media goes out of its way to bash anything that would help regular people. I just believe that. So the idea of, it's the Republicans or it's the Democrats, or it's the corporatists. That's what it is. There are Democrats that are what we call justice Democrats that take their money from regular people, and we can do a segment on that. But the average person you're going to see represented on MSNBC, CNN, Fox News are all corporatists. They all are into that corporate money, into the corporate ad revenue, and they all play that game. They all play the lobbyist game. They all play the money in politics game. So if you're coming here and be like, but the Democrats, and then shut the fuck up. Don't bring that nonsense here again. I don't deal with that stuff. Because they're just wrong, and their principles are, they have no principles. Their principle is, let's make as much money as we can. Let's get to the breaking news story as quick as we can. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so that is the world that existed as I grew up. But then something came along called YouTube, and that allowed independent voices who could just say what they felt. They didn't have to be worried about if an ad sponsor, or if they were too racy, or if they said something against the corporate class. They didn't care. They could just say what they want. I'm ashamed to say it, but then, because I hated the mainstream media so much, I started listening to Alex Jones. So when anyone tries to say, this and that radicalize you, mainstream media radicalized me because they never told the truth. And I just felt like, if you want to know the truth, the real stories, you can't be listening to them. So, and I just started, as soon as the internet, people started putting their opinion on the internet, I just went searching for something else because I always hated the news. Then you watching Alex Jones. He didn't really have any competition like that who was saying wasn't trying to get the government's back every second. Like, was saying, hey, the government makes mistakes, blah, blah, blah. So you're drawn to that. Little did I know he's a grifter. The more and more time passes and you see things like maybe the Young Turks come out. And then I was like, oh, this fool's hell of a grifter, after seeing something better come out. Then I watched the Young Turks, and then I was like, oh, okay, Kyle Kulinski. And so I saw Secular Talk. I started messing with that. And then, you go down the road, the Humanist Report, David Stoll, all these people, more than I'm naming right now, obviously. There's a lot of kind of, I guess we would call actual leftist media that I do consume, but it's not on cable news. So the idea that saying it's on cable news is the most, I'll even hear YouTubers say that shit. They'll say left-wing news and they'll refer to MSNBC, and I'm like, it's just not. Just stop saying that, because it isn't. It's corporate news. It is corporate news. Their whole goal is not regular people, the benefit of regular people. It's for the benefit of their corporate donors. So I get frustrated. It's inaccurate. It's unnuanced to say that MSNBC and CNN are left-wing news. Anyway, I made my point there. What is the funny part, the entertaining part today is Kyle Kulinski versus Krystal Ball. This video I found on YouTube, what a gem. The best part of it is that like how times have changed. This is like I think maybe 6-7 years ago, and Kyle Kulinski is obviously just starting out. Getting, maybe he's in it for a few years, and he's just going hard on CNN. He's going hard on Krystal Ball. Oh, because the funny thing is nowadays, Krystal Ball runs The Rising with Sagar and Jetty. They're the hosts of The Rising, and Kyle Kulinski be a favorite guest on that shit all the time. My theories on Kyle Kulinski, he's definitely influential to me in terms of seeing that you could just go on the internet and give your opinion and people start responding to that and picking that up. And he used to be a little rawer back in the days. Now I think I think that he has been making money for himself. I think he's doing well for himself. I think he's been accepted into some of like the royalty of the internet and podcasting, in that he's been on Joe Rogan Report. He's a featured guest. They'll bring him back as a guest on The Rising. So I think the way this media works is if those people get your back or give you opportunity, you tend to not go hard on them in your show, right? But back in the day when Kyle was just coming up and he was throwing flames and throwing heaters across the plate, he didn't care. And it was dope. So let's watch this shit. Shit is funny if you haven't seen it already. Okay. This is just great. This is a young Kyle Kulinski, a younger Kyle Kulinski. You got the earrings, bro. You got the faux hawk. You looking kind of swaggy back in the day, bro.
First to the story. Now, at this point today, it's inexplicable to do that. Maybe in 1967 it made sense to be the first to break the story, because then people will say, "Oh gosh, golly, you see on NBC last night they broke that story. Credit to them." That's how they spoke in 1967. I don't know if you know that.
Okay, so I would call Kyle Kulinski an actual lefty, like not MSNBC. Like this kid right here is an actual lefty.
Today nobody says, "Oh man, it's really fantastic that they broke that story on wherever," because it's not about that nowadays. Nobody's going to be Twitter. Nobody's going to be Facebook. We have people that are on the scene that are their own media platform today. So it's not about breaking the story. It's about actually doing accurate, fair, good reporting.
He's still right about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this mainstream media is still not learning that their shit is trash and their audience is receding.
But we're operating off of momentum in the sense that the old mindset has carried over to today, and all of the TV news outlets, they just want to, what's everybody else talking about? Okay, let's talk about that too. Breaking news, something happened, even though we don't really know any of the facts.
Also, just keep in mind, we're in 2020 now. We're October 2020. This shit was made at least 6 years ago. So the fact that we're still on this, and you're not recognizing a lot of people, we need to be growing up and moving forward into the future.
But just speculate. So MSNBC jumped into this same mindset, and they invited on somebody who they thought was an expert, who they thought saw the Malaysian plane get shot down in Ukraine and Russia. And look at what happened. This is hilarious.
MSNBC exclusive U.S. Staff Sergeant Michael Boyd is at the U.S.
So we see Krystal Ball in her, no pun intended, in her ball and chain days, because she's working for the man. She's working for the corporations.
Embassy in Ukraine, and says that he saw a missile in the air hit the plane. He is on the phone with us. Sergeant, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Please tell us what you saw there on the ground in Ukraine.
Well, I was looking out the window and I saw a projectile flying through the sky, and it would appear that the plane was shot down by a blast of wind from Howard Stern's ass.
So it would appear that the plane was shot down. Can you tell us anything more from your military training of what sort of missile system that may have been coming from?
Well, you're a dumbass, aren't you?
I'm sorry, sir. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with all...
A blast of wind from Howard Stern's ass. She's like, what kind of missile system? OMG. OMG. That shit is funny. Because, I mean, it's so much funnier now because they're all homies now. Um, but really, like, the Rising can lick my ball sack, though. It's trash. I do not like Sagar and Jetty at all. I think he's a Nazgul. I think he's a crypto. I think he's a Nazi. And I'm trying to figure out if Krystal Ball is just like as ignorant as this video is showing her. And she kind of learned how to hide it better. Because this is foolishness. I don't know how much of it is a part of it. Like, you're working in a system and you have kind of got to kind of be kind of robotic about it. So, I can make allowances for her, but, I'm going to go after the Rising, though. There's segments about the Rising that bother me. Shout out to Vosh for, like, saying that shit. Because if he didn't say that shit, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking it, but when you hear someone else say some shit out loud that you've been thinking, it really can set a fire in you. I guess that's what Kyle Kulinski did. I was always knowing that mainstream media was trash. And then when he started saying that out loud, I was like, oh, shit, you can say that shit out loud.
All the latest next.
You know what I'm saying? This shit funny, though.
Oh, Krystal Ball's so stupid. Oh, she's so stupid. He gave her 3 opportunities. It appears that the plane has been struck down by wind that's coming from Howard Stern's ass. Yes, Sergeant, it is true. The plane has been struck down. Can you tell us any more information based off of your expertise with artillery? Oh, you're a dumbass, aren't you? Excuse me, Sergeant? Oh, Krystal. Oh, Krystal, stop it. And the producers, too! The producers didn't cut him off after Howard Stern's ass.
See, that's a good point, too. Like, it's not just Krystal. It's like there's a whole team of motherfuckers in that room. How did they even get that fool on the phone to her in the first place? Who didn't they screen this motherfucker? Like, they just let him go on MSNBC like that?
No, run with it. Run with it. I think Howard Stern's ass is a nickname they give to certain tanks. Is that true? Look it up. Google it. Is it on Wikipedia? Oh my God, MSNBC is so stupid. Oh, you're so stupid. Look, this is the problem with old media. This is the 9th segment we've done in the past 2 days where we're talking about this. But here's an idea. How about you don't jump on the bandwagon to try to get cheap ratings that aren't going to last you a long time? The idea that just use the breaking news banner and talk about the same thing everybody else is talking about, and that'll get us ratings.
Okay, well, he's made his point, so we'll let it go. It's just like it's just so funny how they have so much money. There's a lot of things in this video that just I think are great. More so, like, again, like I mentioned before, more so that now that we're in October 2020, it's like they're all homies now. Like Kyle Kulinski be going on Krystal Ball's show, and like they're all buddying it up. And it's like, what's up, Kyle? Do you not think she's dumb anymore? Did she get smarter in that time? I mean, if you look at. Ooh, with the Rising, it's hard. It's hard because I was messing with that. My girl was like, oh, because she saw how I turned on him. She's like, oh, weren't you down with the Rising for at the beginning? Because I was definitely saying some shit like, you need someone like Krystal Ball to run for president. You need a hella lefty, but she looked like a soccer mom. And then she'll get all those like women who is gonna vote. And then just wrap herself around an American flag and say she's a hell of a patriot, but still say lefty shit. I mean, who would do that? But yeah, I was definitely on that tip because I thought, oh, she's fighting for the left. But I don't know. I mean, obviously she does it. She's making money, right? So it's hard when you're making money. It's hard to say whether these people are genuinely like if Krystal Ball is like not super bright or she's kind of grifty. I don't know. I mean, like Sagar. That's one thing, honestly, that makes her suspect to me is that Sagar is I just think he's trash. So it's like, so for her to go on that show and still be trying to do that crossfire shit that Jon Stewart debunked back in the day when Tucker Carlson was on that shit. I don't know if y'all know, but could fuck with that one too. But It's just I don't know. I don't know with them, but like this is a funny video for those of you who mess with Kyle Kulinski and the Rising. I just thought it was funny. I think this is worthy of people just bringing out of the vault and just having a little chuckle with it. I don't know. It's not that big a deal. I don't think it's not. I don't care. Like I don't really like. I don't watch the Rising like that anymore. Ever since Birdie dropped out, really, I just don't mess with the Rising because I don't want to hear like fascist Nazgul crap that Andretti has to say. I'm not here for it. I'm not about that life. So check this one out. It's hella funny. I'm gonna put the link to the actual video in the footnotes. All right, peace out, lovers.